Muppets, 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 Muppets! Sorry for that little freak out, but I just went to go see the new Muppets movie, and I was very happy to do so. Probably one of the oldest people in that theater. No cares given. I'm not even gonna deny it. I love the Muppets. I grew up watching Muppets, Muppet Show, Muppet Babies, the Muppet movies, Muppet Christmas Carol is something I like to watch every Christmas. Muppets in Space I loved a lot. The Muppet movie from 2011 had a very special place in my heart. And now comes this new one, which pretty much takes place directly after the ending of the first one. Basically, now that they are back, they decide they're going to go on this world tour after Ricky Gervais' character pitched them this idea. And then Kermit is replaced by this evil fraud that looks just like him, except he has a mole on his face and is Russian, and Kermit gets locked in jail, and then the new Kermit takes over, and there's this whole big scandal thing, and yeah, all of it to get the crown jewels, which is always kind of a plot in those kind of films, I don't know. Whereas the 2011 movie was a callback to the first Muppet movie, this one is more of a callback to The Great Muppet Caper, which is the second film. So with that said, I'm expecting the next movie to either be like a Muppet Takes Manhattan kind of deal, or a reboot of the Muppet Christmas Carol. Or Muppet Treasure Planet. I'm just throwing the idea out there. Muppet Treasure Planet, I would go see it. But it's the Muppets. It's everything you love about the Muppets. It's the wit, it's the charm, it's the complete non-existence of the fourth wall. And that's something I remember seeing critics saying a lot, was they were kind of criticizing the way that the Muppets broke the fourth wall. There has never been a fourth wall with the Muppets. There's a reason why the Muppet attraction in Disney is a f***ing 3D studio. It's because the fourth wall has long since been obliterated. The Muppets are the only group that can effectively destroy the fourth wall and have it completely make sense. They're also the only comedy group that can have James McAvoy appear as a random UPS guy and have it make absolute complete sense. They can have Stanley Tucci manning a machine gun and it would make sense. And yes, that happens in this movie. The celebrity cameos are always just great, and you don't even recognize the film at first. Like Chloe Grace Moretz plays a newspaper lady. You don't even realize it's her until the second time you see her. Tom Hiddleston plays like a muscle-bound, like a muscular kind of escapo, kind of jail prisoner guy. That was hilarious. Christoph Waltz has a great scene. There's a bit with... there was a priest towards the end. I don't remember who the actor was. Somebody can tell me about this because I know the face, but I don't remember the name. Danny Trejo's in this movie, and I just gotta mention right now, there's a line in this movie involving Danny Trejo spoken by Tina Fey. You'll know it when you hear it. It is one of the funniest lines in the entire movie. Me and Brendan and Lynn were the only people in the theater who got the joke, and were laughing hysterically at it. And if you caught it, tell me. It was such a... You don't expect it at all, but it's just so brilliant. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's so great. Probably my favorite moments in the entire movie were any bit with Sam and Ty Burrell. Those two work so well together. I mean, they like every scene they're in, basically, for me, it was essentially comedy gold. Having like Sam, who's this, who's always been categorized as this all-American character, with a French policeman, and they're forced to work together. It's your typical buddy cop kind of scenario, but it just works so well here. Tina Fey, brilliant as always, a little weird because she has this weird obsession with Kermit towards the end, but I mean, you can't go wrong with Tina Fey, she's great. Ricky Gervais, I wanted to love him so much in this movie because it's Ricky Gervais, but I wasn't feeling it from him, really. Like, it wasn't... I don't know. He didn't seem like he was really in it, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't feel like... I don't know how to explain it, really, but he was kind of lacking. Jason Segel is nowhere in this movie and nowhere in the staff credits. It didn't show that he was the writer. It didn't show that he was a producer or anything like that. And unfortunately, while I don't mind him not being a character in this movie, his absence in the writing is very noticeable. The deep moments just don't have as much of a punch to them as they did in the first film. And there are a few deep moments in this movie, but they don't carry the same weight to them. And maybe I feel that way just because the 2011 movie, the messages it had hit me at a time where I was this kid about to leave college and I was facing growing up. And the message of this movie really kind of hit home, but there's nothing really in this movie about that. Or at least that comes close to that. And maybe that's it. Maybe I just don't connect with the message of this film as well. But I don't know. It felt like it just that special something that Jason Segel brought to the project was just not there. And that's really where I kind of fault the film, is that it doesn't have that kind of magic to it. But it is the Muppets. It is everything you love about the Muppets, and it definitely is a film that I recommend you watch because it is funny. And it's still, all the clever writing, all the clever jokes, all the digs at, Hollywood and mainstream media that you come to expect from them in their songs. Like the entire first number is just them going at Hollywood for their obsession with sequels. Like, even one of the lines is that we're making a sequel even though we know it's not going to be anywhere near as good as the original one. Which kind of struck me as funny. And also, in a way, it kind of absolves this film of not being as good as the 2011 one. Because they acknowledge that, sequels are rarely that good. And, this is a good film. It's not as good as the one that came before it. But for what it is, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Writing-wise, it's not the best, but it's still the Muppets. It's still the Muppets. If you are a fan of the Muppets, if you have been a fan of the Muppets for a long time, you will love this movie. The Muppets is one of those unique groups where you can watch them at any age. Any age. You could be 2 years old and still in diapers, or you could be 98 years old on your deathbed. You can watch the Muppets and still find it just as enjoyable. There is no designated age when it comes to these guys, and I think that's one of the main reasons why. One of the many reasons why I think they still very much belong in media. It makes me so happy that Muppets are a thing again, that they're back, because we need them. We as a society need them in our lives, and we get them. Or they're coming back, and that fills me with more joy than I can admit. So overall, this is a good movie, not an amazing movie, but I still recommend you watch it. If you haven't seen my first review that I did of the original Muppet movie, I will link that in the description or put an annotation or something like that. And let me know what you guys thought. I'm not gonna just repeat myself, but let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, a favorite, subscribe to the channel, post it on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Reddit, something awful, spray paint on buildings, make a flag of it, get it tattooed in your forearm, get it branded into your forehead. This is Six Lick Productions saying keep the spirit of the movies alive.